Strange things started to happen the year after Nathaniel Bacon arrived in Virginia. It all began when a comet appeared for a week. Soon after, hundreds of birds darkened the sky. And then came the locusts. It was an ominous sign of things to come.
Hello? No, I can't. I can't be with my dad. He's talking about history. Yeah, I know. I'll talk to you later. Bye. So, why are we here again?
I wanted to spend time with you girls. Why don't you put your phones down? You know, your ancestor, Emmanuel Campbell, had a farm not too far from here. Like many Africans in English, he came to Jamestown bound in servitude, but worked to earn his freedom. Back then, Virginia's Indian tribes were independent nations. Some were important allies to the colonial government. But big change was coming to Virginia. The English colony was ruled by a few rich men, while the majority of Virginians, both English and African, were poor and discontent. Your ancestor witnessed a battle between these two economic classes that would lead to a society where the color of one's skin determined who was free and who was enslaved. For once powerful Indian nations were splintered and dispersed, and where women continued to be oppressed. What might have happened to our country if all these people in Jamestown had taken a different path? But I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Governor Barclay, I present to you Sogo-an, Queen of the Pamunkey.
It all began when the governor called upon the leader of the Pamunkey Indians for help, despite years of broken English promises.
Sogo-an, the Stafford County militia have killed innocent Susquehannock Indians who are now retaliating against our settlers on the edges of the colony. We need your warriors to come to our assistance.
20 years ago, my husband and 100 of his best warriors came to your defense in the Battle of Bloody Run. He was slain with most of his men. We have never been compensated.
Must I remind you, under the terms of the Treaty of 1646, we are obligated to support one another.
Your Powhatan allies have always abided by the treaty, but the English cannot say the same.
How many warriors can you contribute?
6.
You have 150 warriors.
You are right. 12.
Some settlers believed that Governor Barclay's response to the Susquehannock Indian attacks was weak. They conspired to recruit Nathaniel Bacon, a brash young settler, for a bolder approach.
36 of our countrymen slaughtered at the hands of the Susquehannock Indians. Nathaniel's overseer amongst them. I heard some poor English souls had their nails torn out and were skinned alive.
And yet, the governor proposes we build useless defensive forts along the far reaches of the colony and negotiate with these savages.
The governor is a better friend to Indians than he is to his own Englishmen.
I suppose I would be too if I was lining my pocket with Indian trade agreements. Aunt Sarah, tell Nathaniel what you've heard.
There is rumor that every taxable man and woman will have to pay 1,000 pounds of tobacco for the governor's forts.
Away with these forts, away with these alliances with the Indians. If I hear of one more man or woman killed, I'll go out against these savages myself.
There are hundreds of angry settlers gathered at Jordan's Point. They just need someone to lead them.
Driven by self-righteousness, fear, and anger, Bacon led an armed mob to the State House.
Governor Barclay, we have come for your permission to rid Virginia of all Indians once and for all.
Commanding unauthorized volunteers is mutiny. We govern this colony with legislation, not by force of arms.
Sir, our proceedings are just. Let us defend ourselves, our families, and our countrymen.
This colony has treaties with the tribes of the Powhatan chiefdom. We cannot afford to lose their alliance.
Damn your alliances! We should declare war against them all! Lay down your arms!
Here, shoot me before God. Never shoot! Shall we settle this with sword in their head?
I do not wish to hurt a hair on your honor's head. But damn my blood, grant us permission to save our colony from further attack.
With only a small number of government troops, Governor Barclay had little power over the armed mob. He reluctantly granted Bacon permission to defend the settlement against enemy Indians. Bacon spent the next few months hunting Indians in the swamps of Virginia. But when he attacked and imprisoned members of Sogo-an's tribe, allies of the colonial government, the governor declared Bacon a rebel and would hang him upon capture. The threat emboldened the brazen young settler to turn his armed mob against the governor.
We will besiege these cowards and force them to come out and fight. He that dies in the field lies in a bed of honor!
During the night, Bacon and his men hastily built earthworks. By morning, the rebels were entrenched.
Sir? I think you should see this for yourself.
Bacon and his armed men were lying in wait for the governor just outside the town. Trapped and under siege, Governor Barclay gambled that the rebels would run when faced with advancing troops. Instead, they stood their ground and awaited their leader's command.
Hold! Hold! Hold!
We are besieged, and the men are unwilling to fight. They'll be upon us soon. We have no choice but to retreat to our ships on the river.
Jamestown was now under the control of the rebels.
Why is Bacon scratching himself so much?
He has a terrible case of lice.
Ew, gross.
Oh, what was I? Bacon, perhaps, growing madder by the day from his lice infestation, is not yet satisfied.
You fought well, my brave fellows! Oh, these rogues will harbor here no more! Now, let us burn this place to the ground!
When the mob hesitated, two rebel leaders took the lead.
We will start with our houses! Who will be next?
It didn't take long for the mob to follow. helplessly from the river as the mob burned down the Capitol. That's the story of Bacon's rebellion.
What? No. Dad, you can't end the story now. What happened after the rebels burned down Jamestown? Yeah.
After burning down Jamestown, Nathaniel Bacon's health declined rapidly. Weakened by a severe case of lice, he died a month later. Without a leader, the mob dispersed. Governor William Barclay regained control of Jamestown and sentenced 23 rebels to death, but the disgraced governor was soon replaced. Sarah Grindon was charged with treason, but because women were believed to be foolish and ignorant, the charges were dismissed. Sogo-an negotiated a new treaty with the colonial government, but the majority of tribal lands were lost to English settlement. To keep better control of the colony, the Virginia government ceded more power to lower-class white men, while taking it away from everyone else. Jamestown was slowly rebuilt, but was never again the same. The capital moved to Williamsburg in 1699. After Bacon's rebellion, life got easier for some and harder for many.
Wow, that's awful.
It'll be up to all of us, and those that come after us, to keep fighting for the interest of all. Now, it's definitely time to go to bed.